What do you want to do?
No, we don't have an intro. Welcome, everybody, to the Glaziar Gamble podcast. This is episode 38 of our entertainment section. We got some good Marvel news for you today. We got some rumors about different characters appearing in different shows happening. We got some previews and actual first official clips, or not clips, but imagery of certain characters like Groot from I Am Groot. We also got some delays for DC. We got some other minor Marvel news with potential Topher Grace. And then we got a lot of fun miscellaneous news with the DC delays, obviously, but then we got Avatar, God of War, I Am Legend. So this should be a fun one for us today. Let's jump in with some rumor talk, which the first one is that Daredevil Season 4 is apparently in early production. This would obviously be a sequel, like Season 4 entering on Disney+.
Yeah, so apparently Daredevil, how Daredevil ended in season 3 is not going to be where it takes off in season 4.
Okay.
Because we don't know if Daredevil got snapped. So there could be, and I know it's not like Daredevil's not canon. They are essentially saying like Kingpin in our reality is obviously the same character, I guess, as in like the Daredevil series. It'd be like Tom Holland in another Spider universe. But this Kingpin got snapped and is trying to regain the control he lost during the 5 years.
Because Kingpin was snapped.
Yes. Yep. Kingpin was in power in New York, but got snapped, trying to regain his power. So it's not going to be a continuation. I think Charlie Cox said he doesn't want it to be a continuation of that story. He wants it to be a new MCU-driven Daredevil, and he wants the Daredevil to be a part of this universe, even if it's just at the street level right now.
So I think they confirmed that Kingpin was snapped, and that's partially, like, I believe they thought that's why Kate's mom had gotten so comfortable in her leadership role, was because she wasn't sure if Kingpin would ever come back.
Sure.
I believe that's what I heard. And then I thought I heard confirmed elsewhere that Kingpin was snapped for other
that makes
reasons.
Sense. Yeah.
One thing I did want to bring up with Charlie Cox and Daredevil, because I think that whether they do a time jump, change how it is canon-wise, say like change some stuff up via Netflix versus the Netflix, I'm cool with all that. But the one thing I wanted to bring up with Charlie Cox is I feel terrible for him.
He just gets it's almost worse than Garfield, right? Because like Andrew Garfield is for one movie.
Yep.
And now Charlie Cox has to deal with this every day until he's out of the MCU.
And now that No Way Home is done, Andrew Garfield's been talked to maybe once. All it was I have no interest in playing Spider-Man again. So now people stop talking to him.
Yeah, which in a Marvel actors means we haven't worked out a deal yet.
Right. And Charlie Cox is confirmed he probably will be Daredevil for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
He's kind of screwed himself there by saying that interview-wise, but
Feige also said it. If we're ever going to do Daredevil again, it's going to be Charlie Cox. So
yeah. And I just feel bad because all of his interview answers, every interview has gotten more and more like not sassy, but like he seems more like angry, annoyed. Like he just seems kind of over it. He seems like one of those guys who's like, I just want to act and just leave me alone.
Right.
Like I've been asked this question or this series of questions 40 times. Yeah. And that's my thing to like these people, there's people, podcasts, and articles that I read, like comicbook.com and those guys like Brandon Davis and those people. I respect their work, but start asking him different questions. Like he's clearly pissed about some of these questions.
Right, and I think in every interview he said, he's like, I don't know much, but I know that like I'm going to be doing this or something like that. So it seems like as he gets the information that he is able to tell, he tells it. He found out in summer of 2020 or summer of 2021 that he was going to come back as Daredevil, but like that's all they know. That's all he knew. And then it was probably like November, and they're like, hey, come to Atlanta or wherever we're filming for. We just got to shoot a few scenes.
Well, and like I know the media has their job. They're supposed to prod as much as they can. I also see successful media people. The reason they're successful is because they do something different, like Hot Ones.
Right.
A lot of their guests always say, "Oh, I thought this was going to be a stereotypical just presser thing, ask me the same questions, and you actually ask good questions." Yeah. Don't you want? Like, I was just listening to. We have a local radio station that we mentioned in our sports section, but I was listening to them. And they say that there's like no better feeling as an interviewer as whether it's genuine or not, but the really genuine ones you can tell when the interviewee says, "Great question." Yeah. And he's like, and they were like, not just the ones where I sound like they're kissing ass, like the ones where they tell you it's a great question. Don't you want that? Wouldn't you rather have that than a guy who sounds like he is going to start giving you 2-word answers because you just pissed him off again? Yeah. Like, if I'm Charlie Cox, I stop accepting interviews with some of these companies.
No, absolutely.
Like, anytime you can. I was just gonna say, anytime you can deny it, why not? Like, do it.
What was the one news outlet that heard of Variety?
Variety
spoilers all the time.
Spoiled. Yep.
Yeah, like I wouldn't let them in. I believe that they should have the power to be like, no, I'm not gonna interview you. Like, you got to give respect to get respect, I guess.
Well, and some of it is like in their contracts that they have to do media days,
right?
But I'm sure there's a loophole like Marshawn Lynch where you just sit there and like Marshawn Lynch one time ordered food. Like, he ordered food for pickup while he was getting interviewed because he just had to be there for 5 minutes. So he just sat there for 5 minutes ordering food, not answering questions. And then when he'd like ask a question, he would just mutter because as long as he had an answer, it counted. And then he started saying, "I'm just here so don't get fined." Then he started saying shout out. Like, he started giving shout outs to people. But yeah, like, if Charlie Cox can do that, do it. I just feel really bad for him. I was just listening to a recent interview with him, and he sounds mad. And like, I get it's part of his job, and some people are like, "Is this his job to answer these questions?" It's also your job as media members to not ask the same questions that he was just asked last week by a different company. I don't know. I feel bad. I'm glad that he's moving forward. He's getting a Daredevil season 4 most likely with Disney. If we had him on here, I wouldn't ask a single. I would ask like maybe how does it feel to be a recognizable character sort of question versus like something like that. But then beyond that, it would just be what are like in acting interests? What is it like to be in smaller parts versus major parts? Yeah. What do you feel about streaming versus movies? The effect. I would not heavily focus on.
Yeah, the first thing that came into my head was I'd bring up the fact that I'm a huge Iron Fist fan. Yeah. So I'll be like, on the set of Defenders, who is the funniest cast member?
Anyway, so we can move on to the next thing. Next rumor is that Ms. Marvel is supposed to debut in June. It'll be the next Disney Plus series, and it will be pre-She-Hulk.
June is a good date. We thought it could be August, September. So a little bit earlier, but they did have to do extensive reshoots.
When the reshoots were announced, they said it was potentially going to be about 10 months. But the reshoots were announced when it was a December release date.
Right.
So everybody expected it to be around October. So it's ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they must have been able to get rid of the gauntlets quickly.
Or they changed their mind and they're giving rid of the gauntlets, just reshot some other stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like when this gets a little bit more steam, when we get a little bit more viewers, we're going to be known as the people that just Miss Marvel is the show that we're very defensive and protective over. I feel like we've been pretty heavily defending of that show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like Miss Marvel the character, but it's also the decisions that they've made with this show mean so much more of a problem than just comics.
They absolutely nailed the 10 Rings relook. Right? Instead of having finger rings, you got the gauntlets, and the way they portrayed them is badass. Like, they hit the nail on the head there. Not making War Machine this big giant like Hulkbuster suit. Like,
good call.
Good call.
And you got to go with John Cheadle there, who was a recast.
They've done some really good things, but that would not have been one of them. And I thought it would have been absolutely awesome if they dropped a Miss Marvel trailer on International Women's Day.
They missed this huge opportunity.
Or even a Thor trailer. Jane Foster and Valkyrie, and they missed an opportunity there. So
they did. They've already messed up so much. Like, I get they might not have had the material, but even a poster. It doesn't have to be a trailer.
A Thor trailer? We waited so long for a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, 137 days, I believe. And we're under that for Thor. So you're telling me they don't have that amount of footage yet?
I would have been fine with a Miss Marvel trailer, but even just a sneak peek, an image of her new character, something just for International Women's Day. Yeah. Since they already, my big take on Miss Marvel with the gauntlets was It was a huge offense to her as a woman. It's offensive to take away. She's overcomes her body issues and has her superpowers. You take it away by giving her gauntlets and just making it seem like anybody could do that same thing.
Yeah.
Hurt her as a character. And you're missing these opportunities to redeem yourself.
Another thing, though, is that you take away from the fact that she has these gauntlets. So you're saying she's not an Inhuman now, which is also taken away from her lore, taken away from her backstory, taken away from the fact that, there are more people like her. It's not just like, oh, I found these cool gauntlets that can do what Green Lantern does. With the small amount of rumors in Multiverse of Madness that Black Bolt could be in there, you are now introducing the Inhumans. So, I mean, like we've said, keep her an Inhuman, give her powers, make her the strong woman girl that she is.
And make her say embiggen and clap some cheeks.
Yeah. Or like get a giant foot and slam down on someone. Yeah.
Yes. While Ludacris's stand-up clothes.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah, so far they've kind of ruined her hurt her as a comic book character. They've hurt her as a female. They've hurt her as a female of color. I hope they completely, in these reshoots, revamp. We'll be watching in June, giving you all live updates as the show goes on, reviewing episodes, because we're going to love it. The last rumor was that Sony wants Steven Yeun, one of my favorite actors, to play
this one.
To play Mr. Negative. I don't know anything about Mr. Negative, so
I don't know too much about him either, but he's a Spider-Man villain. They want him for Spider-Man 4, apparently.
Would it be the Amazing Spider-Man, or would it be Tom Holland?
No, I think it'd be Tom Holland's. I know Steven Yeun has been linked to he was linked to Namor for a little while. I'm fine with him just being in the MCU in general.
Dude, he's so
Walking Dead. I mean, they've hit the nail on the head getting some of these Walking Dead actors into the MCU.
I still regularly listen to a song that he recommended called Offline by Cool Calm Pete. It's a rap song. It's very good. If he joins the MCU, I'm all for it.
He's been in the superhero business. I mean, he voices Invincible. Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson voices Omni-Man. Some connections.
I think he's so cool. He seems like one of those guys that would be totally fine saying like, hello, how are you? But I don't even know if I feel like I respect him too much to even want to just bother him at all.
I mean, the Marvel pulling from, either Game of Thrones, right? Successful TV shows, or Walking Dead.
Lord of the Rings. Basically all the main characters from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings are in.
Right. So I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, you had Judith in was young Sylvie, I think. Michonne is Okoye. Norman Reedus is going to be Ghost Rider.
Hopefully.
Steven Yeun, Mr. Negative. So I mean, I don't know. It's just
Rick Grimes is going to be Captain Britain.
Yeah.
Let's continue though. That'll be great. I hope that happens with Steven Yeun no matter what he plays. But we got some first looks at some of these major characters, which Moon Knight, 3 new posters came out for Moon Knight. One is 2000s rapper, the hood over.
Mark Spector, yeah.
The other one
Marky Mark
was standard cosplayer pose.
Right.
Where every cosplayer that plays Moon Knight is going to do the... And then the last one was... Yeah, it was... So, yeah. He's
Mr. Knight,
got a wide variety of personalities we've got to see. A couple other first looks that we saw. By the way, Moon Knight looks perfect. Amazing.
It looks really good.
We got to see the first look at I Am Groot. We got to see Groot and I Am Groot. The textures look great. I think the graphics look awesome. And then the last one we saw was She-Hulk, which that one was spoiled through, this is the 3rd week in a row we've covered this, a product line spoiled a Marvel show.
It's like on a cup. She's like on a cup.
She was on a cup. Yeah. I saw a lot of people were saying instead of CGI, she looks like body paint, so they don't like it. And I was like, I think she looks like the comics.
Yeah.
I think she looks great.
Yeah.
I thought the first
We'll see. I'm sure she'll get a little bit more muscle. They'll put a little bit more muscle on her, I'm sure. Make her...
Well, the cup's curved. Like, it's not going to look perfect on a cup, on a mass-produced cup versus a highly produced show. It's just, come on. I think she looked great. We mentioned Moon Knight, though. And we mentioned She-Hulk. Hulk is supposed to be a major character in She-Hulk. Hulk was in the end credits of Shang-Chi. Hulk is getting his own thing called World War Hulk. And Hulk is supposed to be in either Thor Love and Thunder, Secret Invasion, Eternals 2, or like all of the above. Hulk is now rumored to be in Moon Knight.
Yeah, he was seen with Oscar Isaac in wherever they were filming. Somewhere weird. So I was like, why would Mark Ruffalo be there? I think they're going to use Hulk to kind of get all these Earth heroes together. I think he's going to be this. They're going to use Doctor Strange to get kind of this mythical side,
the magic people,
the mythical, the supernatural, right? And then someone in space, either
probably Captain Marvel.
Yeah, or Thor if he doesn't die, or
I would either. It's probably gonna be Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull from all these different kind of avenues, and they're gonna just make this cool team.
Yeah, I think Hulk's super important. He's going to be in everything that we hear about. He's already been in so much, and he's getting his own thing. He's getting rumored to be showing up in certain stuff. Hulk's huge, and that's what we mentioned was
big.
That's and like green-ish. Like he had too much Mountain Dew.
That's his thing. Yep.
We talked about Hulk, how they've done a disservice to him as a comic book character, how he's one of the most recognizable. When people say top 10 favorite superheroes, Marvel, DC, go ahead and pick. Hulk is always like in the top 10 for everyone and for all generations. But when you go into these young punches, but when you go to the young generations, a lot of young generation doesn't like Hulk because they haven't seen a Hulk that makes them excited.
Well, yeah, because the Hulk that makes you excited is an Incredible Hulk when he's fighting Abomination. That's the Hulk you remember. And that Hulk could have beat Thanos, man. Like that.
Bringing him into everything and then giving him World War Hulk is going to be good for the character. I think from a marketing standpoint, from Disney and Marvel wanting to make money, you're going to sell a lot more units by making Hulk popular.
The fight in Age of Ultron where Hulk is going up against Iron Man, Hulkbuster. If Hulk was in a city, there would be more than just Iron Man trying to stop him, to calm him down.
You would need probably a Scarlet Witch, a Thor,
or Captain Marvel. You need someone,
one of those OP people.
Yeah, because he's going to level the entire city.
I wonder, Professor X, would he be able to mind control Hulk while in Hulk form? I don't know. I feel like yes, but part of me says that his skin the radiation would make him kind of impervious to mental things, but I don't know. I guess I've never seen it in the comics, and I don't know what they would want to do for the movies.
Yeah, because you can't get the Hulk walking up to Hulk versus Professor X, man, if that doesn't work.
I don't want to see a guy in a wheelchair get beat up. I just don't want to see that. Especially not Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart, please.
Yeah, not Sir Patrick.
Don't you touch a single skin cell on that beautiful head. The last Marvel news that we have is so Topher Grace. I read an article. Topher Grace apparently wanted to return in Venom, Let There Be Carnage, not in the movie itself, because a lot of people, that's how they did the headline, and a lot of people were misinterpreting it, and a lot of people were, this is so stupid, we don't want to talk about all this stuff. Topher Grace's idea was actually pretty good. He was on the late night show with Seth Meyers, and he's getting interviewed, and he has a show called Home Economics that he's in.
Okay.
And apparently he wanted an ad for Home Economics. He wanted them to do an ad for Venom 2, either in the show or in a crossover ad with Home Economics, where they have the characters in the show watching a trailer for Let There Be Carnage, and them all talking about Tom Hardy's Venom, saying like, oh, this Venom's so cool. And supposed to have Topher Grace's character like not care or not understand, like what about him? And then be like, well, he's just like, he's ripped and he's so good looking. Yeah, but is he like a good actor or anything? Well, yeah, he's nominated by the Academy Awards. Yeah, but like, can he play superheroes or villains or anything? Yeah, he was nominated for Bane, his portrayal of Bane.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
I thought that was genius.
An Office thing where it's like, God, Venom's so awesome. Everyone's like, Venom. And he's just like,
yeah. I think that would have been genius.
Yeah, or him even just making a cameo in there. He's like stopping a mugging or something.
Apparently, Sony was interested in him making a cameo in Spider-Man 4, but both for Let There Be Carnage and for the Spider-Man 4, apparently Disney is the people stopping it.
Like in Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4, or like Tobey's?
They didn't specify.
I mean, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure he's dead in Tom and Tobey's world. He wouldn't be Edward Brock Jr. He wouldn't be that same Eddie Brock from Tobey's world, because I don't know.
But there's a million multiverses, so he could, if they could find a way, I think it would be brilliant. I mean, he helped them with advertising by claiming he was in the movie and he wasn't in the movie.
Right. I would just put him in Venom as just a cameo. That's
I
what
agree.
I would do.
100% and make some sort of callback. Have him be in the side, maybe holding a camera, or maybe he said, Brock, the reporter, right? And Eddie can be like, yeah. He'd be like, oh, I always wanted to be a reporter. leave.
Yeah.
Obviously, fans are going to create theories around that,
Yeah.
but it could just be a quick cameo like that. I know
Yeah.
Topher Grace rubs people the wrong way. He burns a lot of bridges. Apparently, when he was on SNL, he's never been back because of the way he acted on set. He was kicked off that 70s show. They didn't like him on Spider-Man.
Right.
I get all that. But, people change. I don't know. I think it would be smart. All right, let's jump into our miscellaneous section. The first thing that is the Obi Wan Kenobi trailer dropped. I think it was good. I watched it. If you've watched previous episodes of the podcast, I'm not huge into a lot of the new Star Wars stuff. I liked episodes 1 through 6. I watched 7. Part of 8, part of Rogue One. Haven't watched The Mandalorian, even though every person I talked to was like, you'd like it. Yeah. If I want to watch it, I should start now before it gets to like season 5 and it's too late. That's what happened to me with Game of Thrones. I was like, maybe. No, it's too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I would have told you that there was dicks in it, you probably would have like taken
I would have just fast forwarded those parts and that's all I would have watched. Obi-Wan Kenobi, though, looks really good. It actually looks like something I might watch.
I don't think they showed too much because it's going to be crazy. Obviously, there's going to be another Kenobi and Vader fight. Everyone is good. I hope it's in the finale because I just want the finale to be insane.
Do you think Vader's going to have the high ground?
I think so. I'm excited for where they're going with Star Wars. But if they did want to say that 7, 8, and 9 are not canon, I'd be okay with that also. And if they want to remake 7, 8, and 9,
do they plan on remaking it?
I don't know. A lot of people did not like those 3. I think they were really sweet characters, but not a good story. I think Rey's badass. I think Finn's cool. I think Poe Dameron's sweet.
Poe's cool. Yep.
I think Kylo Ren looks badass, but
my wife and I both agreed that Rey's cool. I liked Kylo Ren a lot more than I feel like he was received. Exactly. I thought Kylo Ren was sweet.
Yeah, a lot of great characters. I just don't think they were done well, or not necessarily done well, but I think the story limited how cool they were.
Oh, I think I'll probably watch Obi-Wan, at least the first couple episodes, see how I feel about it. We got to see Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader. You don't get to see him. You just saw the costume, so it looks like Darth Vader. And we got to see young Luke and Obi-Wan watching Luke. Yeah. However, people thought that it was only going to be on Tatooine the entire time. Does look like we will be leaving Tatooine. That was good news in my opinion. Otherwise, it would have felt a little too stationary.
Sure.
Other miscellaneous news, though. The huge news. DC delays.
Yeah.
DC has delayed they delayed Shazam. They delayed Black Adam. They delayed Aquaman 2. They've delayed The Flash. They delayed everything. This delay has moved Aquaman 2 is back to like 2023.
Well, it gives them just enough time to get rid of Amber Heard.
The Flash is a little disappointing, but the big news from all these moving, and Black Adam, I really want to see Black Adam. But the big news also does that mean Static Shock was delayed? Probably, yeah. I'll be watching Static Shock more than once, guaranteed.
Isn't it produced by Michael B. Jordan? That one is?
Yeah, I think so. But the big news is Shazam is now sharing its release date on the same day as Avatar 2. And you had the same sentiment as a lot of people, which I saw a lot of people on the internet saying this is going to get delayed again because they won't want the competition. But I was doing some more research on it, and opening weekend of Shazam only made $55 million, and it was $100 million budget. But then Shazam overall in the box office made $355 million.
Yeah, it's like 366, I think is what it ended with.
It made the amount of money as like a major box office hit makes, but it made less money in its opening weekend than Black Widow did.
Right.
And so I think that showed the popularity of the series and how word of mouth was needed. People weren't sure if it was going to be good.
Yeah, they went and saw it, and then everyone was like, it's actually really good. Like, it's actually good. Yeah, and it's funny.
I think a lot of people also are like dedicated fans. A lot of people went more than once. A lot of people are, if they don't get to see it opening weekend, are going to go see it. I think they'll leave it, and they're fine if it bombs opening weekend again because they know eventually it'll pick back up. That was just like, when I was doing my research, I was like, if it was fine the first time, I think it'll be fine the second time. When you listen to people talk about Avatar 2, a lot of people don't really sound that excited for it. That people are, the first movie was just mediocre, or the first movie relied on its special effects. This movie looks boring too with just special effects. And I'm not gonna lie, so I'm a big fan of the first movie. The more I've heard about the second movie, especially the plot line, I'm getting less interested in it. I was super excited with the theory of It's the same villain for all 5 movies because James Cameron says the best sci-fi villains are the ones, it's the consistent one overarching villain. Like, you'd rather have Joker for 5 movies than Joker, Riddler, that Penguin, Mr. Freeze. Like, you'd rather have the one overarching villain because it makes the villain seem bigger. And I loved that idea. I love the idea that it's going to be the same villain in every movie. And then I heard the second movie was also going to be based on Water Planet, and it's going to take so long to make because James Cameron's inventing a new technology that creates a higher quality underwater shot. And then I saw those shots of Zoe Saldana. I saw that she came like out of like the underwater shots. Everything I saw was really exciting. Then all of a sudden we heard that it was going to be primarily based on them trying to adopt a human child, even though he's now supposed to be permanently part of the Na'vi. And it's just, I don't know, the more I hear about it is less interesting. So because of that, I do think there are going to be a lot less people that go see Avatar 2 than expected, and a lot of people would rather see Shazam. I just think the superhero genre is just booming. I think it'll definitely do better than it did the first one did. I don't think they'll be afraid to compete. I think that they're not going to switch it again. The only way they would delay it again is if they have another mass delay. The next topic, I Am Legend, which I'm a big fan. It took me a long time to get my wife to watch that, but eventually I got her to do it. She enjoyed it. But I Am Legend is a movie with Will Smith where they cure cancer, but then cancer turns everybody into monsters. Spoiler alert. Will Smith dies at the end. However, if you have...
So does his dog.
So, yeah, Will's dog dies not at the end.
Yeah.
His dog dies, and then he goes to commit suicide, but then a lady and her son show up to save him. So anyway, then he dies at the end, saving them. Blows up all the monsters that made it into his basement. They get out of his safe. There is an alternate ending where he hands over the monster that helped him create the cure to the other monsters. They walk out peacefully and leave him be. And then the lady and Will and the boy go driving off, and that's how it ends in the alternate ending. In the original ending, she takes the cure that Will made, finds an outpost with a bunch of people at it, and she gives the cure to a soldier, and that's how the movie ends originally. With Will Smith supposed to be coming back reprising his role in I Am Legend 2 with Mychal B. Jordan, that either tells me that it's going to be a time skip or a prequel, or they're going to make the alternate ending canon and go based on that, which is what it sounds like a lot of people are saying. There's even some reporters that said that is what's happening, which I think is interesting because a lot under the comments were like, there's an alternate ending. Like, a lot of people didn't know you had to have the DVD. The alternate ending, in my opinion, is not as good from an artistic standpoint, but to make a sequel like this with that, which I don't know was necessary, but sounds like it's probably just going to be another one of those action zombie-ish movies.
Sure. I mean, you're getting Will Smith, who's still a big name, and Mychal B. Jordan, who's an even bigger name right now. So I don't think it's
he's huge.
I don't think it's a bad, he's a big actor right now too. You know, one of these emotional, like goodly received, great received, you know what I'm trying to say. These goodly received shows. Kind of like part of our, like, there was a phase where like that was the big movie, was I Am Legend. If you're gonna make money off it, I mean, the budget can't be that big.
And I think a lot of people are gonna feel like me, where it's like they're gonna do a sequel and then they'll go see it out of curiosity. That was the first movie that was ever spoiled for me.
Was it?
Yep. I was in high school. Went to go see a movie, saw a group of guys coming out of the movie, guys that I knew from school. And I was like, hey guys, how's it going? And they were like, oh, you going to see a movie? I was like, yeah, I got to see this one. And they were like, oh, I was going to see I Am Legend. We just saw I Am Legend. I was like, oh, sweet. Well, don't spoil it because I really want to see that one. And one of the guys goes, Will Smith dies. And I was like, what? And then the other guy that was with him, he's like, dude, you're such a dick. That was the first movie that was ever spoiled for me. So
and then you became a Marvel fan. You poor soul. Where everything gets spoiled for you now.
Gets spoiled before the movie's even out. Media hasn't even seen it, and Variety's just going to spoil it for us. But the last piece of news is huge. One of my first ever mature games I ever played was God of War.
Mine was like Grand Theft Auto, I think.
Grand Theft Auto was my first. And no, it was Mortal Kombat for like Sega. And then it was Grand Theft Auto, and then God of War. My brother actually, when he came back from Afghanistan, gave me a PSP with God of War. And I was like, oh, pretty sure the first mission you have sex, but thanks, big bro. But yeah, so in God of War, it was purchased by Amazon, or like it's the rights to make
series are being called for,
by Amazon, and they want to make God of War. So everybody's saying like, who should play Kratos? This is going to be amazing. If you haven't played the game, it's one of the best game series of all time. I'm a huge mythology,
Right.
Greek big fan of those. I have multiple books. This one book here, this black book, is just a pure book of indexes on mythological heroes. I love mythology, and
I haven't played, but I have seen the clip of where Kratos fights Thor and like the Warriors 3 or something, and he just brutally murders all 3 of them. It's just
well, and that's the whole point, is he's basically a god killer and monster killer. I think the actor is gonna have a hard time portraying it as well as the voice actor does in the video games.
Sure.
It's a well-written story, well voice acted and well produced. So it's like a video game movie that has big shoes to fill already. Like it's not like you're doing Rampage where you have low expectations.
Right.
And still doing a bad job.
Yeah. Hey, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in there, and he plays this. He's still Negan in that one.
But yeah, I think God of War. Everybody's talking about who would be cast. Who would you pick as Kratos?
Oh, you asking me first.
I am, or the people listening. Who would you pick as Kratos?
So you got people like Dave Bautista.
That's the big one. That was on Twitter analytics. The word Kratos and Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista was the most used actor name with the word Kratos on the day this was announced.
So yeah, you said Jason Momoa, Gerard Butler. Yep. Some other people.
There's the lead actor
Tom
from
Hardy.
Vikings.
The other one.
Tom Hardy, and then the lead actor from Vikings, Jeff.
Sure.
Minsley. Anyway, that guy.
Sure. So my choice is Mychal Cera.
Okay. Shaved head or?
It depends on what they want to do. But shaved head could be good. So yeah, I guess that'd be my vote. It's Mychal Cera. I probably would tie it to Superbad if possible.
Okay.
Like keep it canon with Superbad.
So maybe Seth Rogen can play his son.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes straight from Superbad to like Kratos, like to the God of War series.
I tweeted it out. My vote is Danny DeVito.
Yeah, see, but he also had like comic book origin wise, like he's the perfect fit for Wolverine.
And like he could always play Philatides, the live action version in God of War.
I think that'd be perfect too.
I guess so. Yeah, Mychal Cera as Kratos, Danny DeVito as Philatides live action, Seth Rogen as his son, as Kratos' son. I think that's perfect.
If Amazon wants to like take this, run with it, that's fine. Just make sure you give us the royalties we deserve.
All I really have to say is congratulations, Mychal Cera, because multiple things we've said on this podcast, we're at double digits now with predictions. For theories and castings and that sort of thing. So congratulations, Mychal Cera. I don't think he needs to bulk up.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think he's just like form ready. Like he's just ready. You could go straight from Superbad into it.
I also saw somebody said Henry Cavill, but I was like, he's in everything. I really don't think he'd be a good Kratos.
Yeah.
He has the right body, but I don't think he has the right I would see a guy like Gerard Butler more. Somebody I want him to have more gravel in his natural voice as opposed to making it like Geralt has gravel, but it's forced.
Right.
I would like him to have more like natural gravel in the voice, like a Mychal Cera.
Right.
And if you guys, for those listening, those watching, let in the comment section, or I do polls and questions on Spotify every post, let us know. Who would you pick for Kratos?
And please, serious answers only, like Danny DeVito, Mychal Cera, stuff like that.
Try to make it better than Mychal Cera and Danny DeVito. Like, try to one-up us, please. Because, honestly, those are the leads right now.
Right. Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Oh, I saw one person said Scarlett Johansson. I thought that would be a great.
She could be a tree.
She could be Kratos.
Okay, she can be whatever she wants.
I think she'd be a good Kratos. So don't say Timothy Chalamet, Scarlett Johansson, Mychal Cera, or Danny DeVito. Those are our choices. And then don't say the popular ones that were on the internet: Dave Bautista, Gerard Butler, Tom Hardy. Don't say those. Jason Momoa. Don't give us some original castings. Who would you pick to be your Kratos? Other than that, that's all we got. That's all we got. That's our whole episode this week. Had some technical difficulties, but we made it through. And we're just gonna see you all next week. We have probably a lot more in this section. I would assume we're gonna get a Thor trailer, gonna speak it into existence.
Hope, yeah.
You all look great today. GG.
GG.